Hey guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's been a while since I made a video, so before we get going here, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to everyone and make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is a video that's been requested quite a few times, and it is basically people asking me generically, how do you backtest? How do you record data, and how do you use this to improve your edge? Since our audience is quite a few different styles of trading, I'm going to keep this very generic and just kind of give you guys a list of what to do. And then I'm going to show you some of my notes from one of my old backtesting sessions, and hopefully you guys can kind of grasp the idea of what it is I look at. So overall, for me, I have a weekly, daily direction. This is important. That's overall the way the market's heading. Now, we obviously know the market doesn't necessarily head in the same direction every day, so I have to understand if I am pro-directional bias or if I am a pullback. Now, this is done via market structure for some of you. For some of you, it's fundamentals. For our guys, it is liquidity. For some, it is SMAs, EMAs. However you get your directional bias, you need to have a way to get your higher time frame directional bias, right? So pretty straightforward, nothing new here. The next is middle time frame directional bias. So this is an intraday time frame. So for myself, I use daily and 1 hour for my mid time frame and higher time frame. And this for me is, for a lot of you guys, it'll be any of the stuff I listed here. For our guys, it will be liquidity. Oh, that's already on there. So liquidity and ranges and timings. So these are kind of your middle time frame directional biases. We expect certain things to happen at certain times. We expect certain reactions at certain levels of liquidity, and that sort of thing. If this aligns with the higher time frame bias, that is a trade we can hold longer. If it does not align with the higher time frame bias and it's a higher time frame bias, it is likely going to be a shorter trade. The next thing is you have your lower time frame analysis / entries. Again, this is going to be very generic for people depending which time frames you use. I use 5 and 15 minute for lower time frame analysis and 1 minute confirmed entries. So this is essentially something that should be a part of your plan, right? Obviously, the next part of this is how do you execute? What do you do to manage a trade? What do you target? On the screen here is going to be the last trade of the year that I took. I shared it with you guys on Instagram. It's been a post. So for the sake of something I posted recently, we're just going to use this last trade. I had a reactional level that was important to me. So I had 2 reactional levels. The first was the London highs getting taken out. So I took my first short in here. I ended up losing this. However, my overall directional bias did not change. So my next level of reaction was up here from a level of liquidity. So let's just kind of look at how that looked. So I ended up using DXY for a confirmation. DXY supported this short. I ended up taking my first entry here. I was induced as one of the early sellers in this case. So this one hit stop loss. It didn't amount to anything. So for the second level of reaction, I waited for this level to react. Now for myself, as part of my rules, I don't like liquidity taken with a wick, so this trade's automatically null and void. So this candle is not part of the plan. The next thing that happens is this wick gets run. So now what I would like to see is 2 range breaks. So we break one range, we pull back, but we don't break 2 ranges in a row. So again, no execution. Finally, we take the highs out for the second time. We get 1 range break, we get 2 range break, and I can basically execute on 50% of this range, cover the highs, add a pip. I think it ended up being like a 5R. I don't remember the exact stop size. It didn't move till out of session, but this was my last trade of the year. So now I would go back and I would reanalyze, is this a good loss or a bad loss? This is valid loss. Part of plan. So totally normal, totally part of the plan, so that's not bad. But let's say I took another trade here, and this one was just a FOMO trade. Let's say I would rate this was not part of the plan, and basically a FOMO trade. So this is how I do the journaling part. The reason I'm showing you this first, before we get into the backtesting notes, is I backtest the exact same. So my journal would say something along of displacement hit 1x 5R 1 loss. That was my day. Displacement hit, 2 range breaks, confirmation. And so this is what my journal would look like for the day. My backtesting looks very similar to this. So again, we go back to higher time frame directional bias, middle time frame directional bias, then you have lower time frame analysis and entries. Underneath this would be management. If you break even, if you take partials, what your execution confluences are. I'm not going to list that off. Reason being is everyone's trading plan's different. So let's go back to an old backtesting session of mine. So what I do with a backtesting session is I run the backtesting session for about 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. And then what I'll do is in that 2 to 4 weeks, I'll go make a copy and I'll create a copy of this layout. So I have one for backtesting and one for notes. So you guys can see if I go to load layout, there's some notes of my recent backtesting sessions of different years and different months and whatever. So what I usually do is if stuff's going according to plan and I'm not taking too many losses, I might not write a lot of notes. So this was a decent stretch here, and I believe this was in a different layout, so there was actually no notes on this section. But I picked I have a section here, so this is all going pretty decent. Overall, we're not taking a lot of hits. Okay, so right here, I started eating a lot of losses. So now that I would go back and try to figure out why these losses are happening. And essentially here, I can tell you I had... So here I could tell you I had build up. I thought I was targeting. I obviously expected this push to continue. It didn't. By the time price got up here, I basically thought this push would continue. Obviously the market had other plans, so we don't really care about the stretches we do good in. So this is whatever according to plan. Life's good, everything's working out. This stuff here, this would be a valid loss to me. These two here, I would say one would even be valid. It wouldn't be. So when I went back and looked, ITR trades, so inefficient trading range. At the bare minimum, maybe I should have looked to regain efficiency. So this one didn't go anywhere. Let's see this one. I don't actually know if I stayed in this. By the looks of things, this one I stayed in. So that one was good. Inefficient, came back, bounced ranges. Okay, so this, I think, was a really... So this is a bit of a FOMO section I hit. And when we went back and looked, we've said consolidating market conditions. Should have been looking at sells. And this generally comes off, taking the lows, taking the highs. So the expectation is to react. And you'll either balance the range or run the lows. Obviously some missed details on my part. So this is the stuff I look to improve on. The majority of my losses come from trading inefficient trading ranges and not identifying the market conditions correct. So you can see here, I took some inefficient trades. I ate some losses. So this range here balanced. I can tell it balanced. It shot up, came back, rebalanced. Somewhere in here would have likely been better buys. So usually in a live scenario, I won't take more than 2 losses. Backtesting, I'll get a little bit riskier. I have a rule personally that I won't take more than 2 losses in the same area. And what that does is allows me to try a third time later. By the looks of things, nothing moved till out of session. I was going the wrong direction. So this one was just wrong bias. This one, I don't know. I might have got partials on these. By the looks of things, took losses. So liquidity wick taking out 1 hour build up after taking out the daily high. So again, missed details. We took out the daily high and we now have build up targets. So wrong bias on this day. And again, I showed you guys this section because nobody cares about the section you did well in. You should go over the sections you did well in and see if there was a better way to manage or if there is a trade you missed. But overall, I pretty much skipped those sections and I kind of go and mark out the sections I didn't do good in. So you guys can see here, I got chewed up pretty much in this whole section. So this is the one I'm going to make notes on. This is the stuff I need to improve on. The good thing is there's not a lot of losses across here. The majority of these losses could probably be covered by a couple of good trading days, and put you in profit. So that's why managing is important. So yeah, by the looks of things, I had a pretty rough streak for about 3 days. So, even though directional bias was right on this day and this day, I believe this day we could have won. By the looks of things, this day, there was no winning that day for me. Price just didn't move much, and that happens. That's totally fine. So, again, I hope this kind of helps you guys show you how I look at things. By the way, these notes come off of 1 hour, daily, 15-minute. and entries essentially just follow that. So you guys can see, so this is one of my patterns. I don't know about you guys, but you can see I had a wreck here. We're about 3 or 4 days. We were kind of getting eaten alive. So even this one here, right directional bias, but we were early. These days happen. It is what it is. But what I want to note is this big wreck that happened right after I have a good stretch. So this is one of the things I combat in the live market scenario as well. Usually if I have like a really good week or two where I don't take many losses and stuff's going my way, and let's say I've had really big wins for 2 weeks straight, usually somewhere after that I'll end up having a big wreck where I just lose for like 3-4 days straight. Luckily I don't lose a lot because it's 1 to 3 trades a day for me, sometimes 0. But what I noticed is after a lot of big wins, I almost get arrogant and greedy, and where I should hold a trade to like 3 or 4R, I'll go for like 6R, and that's when I'll start taking losses. And it's just been a cycle I've noticed over the years. The biggest losses happen after the biggest win streak. So now, usually after a big win streak today, I limit myself to only like 2 losses a day, because I know deep down inside the greed takes over. So this is the psychology piece. This is all in my journal. This is all in all these different notes. And usually after I complete a few backtesting sessions, what I'll do is I'll delete a bunch of these, start over. But you guys shouldn't just backtest. You should also review price action and analyze. And that's where you don't actually take the trades, but you just describe what's happening on the higher time frame, and you try to basically predict the daily direction. So for myself, I'll go through price and I'll be like, I think we'll get a bullish daily close because whatever. And I find that if you do 50% of the time backtesting, 50% of the time analyzing, you will be further ahead than just backtesting. And both analyzation, PA review, and backtesting are all good tools. Unfortunately, none of them will help you combat emotions in the live market. But the more of this you do, the more confidence you have in the live market. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys out as to the things I look at, how I backtest. Again, I don't really want to get into my top-down analysis for the obvious reasons that, 1, we don't want to give stuff away. 2, most of you don't trade our systems, so I thought we'd do something very generic. But again, it's directional bias on higher time frame, middle time frame, lower time frame entries. After that, it should be management. And management should basically say where you get paid, or why you would close a trade manually if it's coming against you. So I have all of this laid out as to what I do. So you guys can kind of see how the journaling part of what I do in the live market also transfers over to backtesting. Usually after I go over a section once, I won't go review it again. I just move on to the next backtesting or next analyzation. Something else you guys can do to help yourself. So management rules. Something else you guys can do to help yourself is review trades daily, weekly. Some days everything will be according to plan and you'll lose. Those are good days. Other days you'll be looking at the wrong things or you'll be distracted, and these are the days you gotta have less of, or you're just doing dumb things like looking at Instagram during trading. Basically, trading is data collection. The more data you can collect on your own behaviors, the less mistakes you can make, and that's what turns you from a losing trader to a break-even trader, and a break-even trader to a profitable trader. So really nothing too complex. just a matter of structuring things in a way where it'll benefit you guys. So hopefully that helps a bit. So don't just fly through backtesting and test like 3 months at once. Test like a week or two. Create a new template. Even if you do it on TradingView, you can just make a copy of your template. Very simple. And that template can be used for scribbling. And essentially that's how you improve. Over time, you're going to notice, hey, I noticed that, for example, so this is trap timings for us. The majority of my losses come before 5:30, so I rarely take a trade before 5:30. My best trading window is from 5:30 to 8. So this is the majority of my wins. I have a couple years of data to back this. So this is where I will take the most risk. If it's outside this window, it might just be one trade. If it's outside this window, it might just be one trade. Whereas in here, I'm willing to take, if I haven't taken any trades, I'm willing to take 3 trades in this area. And this is as long as the price action supports it, because that is what my data says with our system. So hopefully this helps you guys. Again, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I've been absent on YouTube, but I am going to try to make some helpful videos for you guys since there's been a lot of things asked over the months, and I have a few things that I'd like to share with you guys. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great set of days off, and we'll see you all really soon. Take care.